Hello gamers, and welcome back to another episode of Solo Spelunking. And today I will be going back to a campaign that I started literally a month ago, because I will continue now my Keep on the Shadowfell adventure, however not using 4th edition D&D, but using the Tiny D6, namely Tiny Dungeons system. Yeah, it's been a while since I played this adventure, because somehow I lost motivation to continue it. I can't really explain why, but now that I have concluded my second season of Star Wars, I think it's also a good thing to switch up things on the channel a little with my Defenders of the Shadowlands game. And I also want to tie up some loose ends, because actually I don't really like it having adventures unfinished, because if you look at my channel, I also make playlists of completed adventures, and I like them to be complete. And so I will now continue my Keep on the Shadowfell campaign, and I also have some ideas how I want to continue, but I will get to that when the time arises. Since we have left our heroes quite a while ago, I think a short recap is in order. So I'm playing Keep on the Shadowfell, which is the introductory adventure to 4th edition D&D. It came with the quick start set, but I'm using the Tiny D6 rule set. And in this adventure, you have to defeat the evil priest of Orcus Calorel, who tries to reopen a rift to the Shadowfell. And and that's what we are trying to prevent. So who are we? This is Nathan Wayne, my player character that I'm playing in this Point of Light Nantir Vale setting. I also used him to play the Reavers of Harkenvold adventure that used the Cairn system. Now I converted him to Tiny D6, so he is a Harper agent. So those of you familiar with the Forgotten Realms, the Harpers are a semi-secret, you could say, organization for good, and they fight evil within the realms. And he is a Harper agent operating in the Nantir Vale, and he has received disturbing news from a fellow Harper priest, and she told him in a letter that she heard rumors or suspects that in the area around Winterhaven, which is in the Nantir Vale, there's a death cult operating, and he was asked to head out there and investigate. So he did. So he got to Winterhaven, fought a couple of kobolds, made some inquiries, and indeed we learned that there is a death cult operating in the area, and we tracked a group of cultists to the ruined keep that was built upon a rift to the Shadowfell to guard it. This is information we don't know yet. What we do know is, I think we don't know it, it's been a while, but we do know that this keep is used as an area base of operations for this death cult, because we tracked them there. Yeah, so this here is the Shadowfell Keep, and then we made our way through a couple of rooms in the first underground level of the dungeon, and we fought some goblins, and then we made our way through this hallway here, fighting a couple of undead, and we left off last session when we were about to enter through this door into Sir Keegan's tomb, and this is where we will continue. So the party, they have assumed their delving formation, and I think now it is time to reintroduced the party to you. So I already introduced myself, Nathan Wayne, Harper Agent. So I'm a human, and I get, as a human, you start with 4 traits, 3 that everyone gets, and 1 that you get because of you're a human. And since he's already experienced, I granted him an additional trait. So he has 5 traits. His traits are: he is sneaky, he's a survivalist, which is basically like the ranger ability. He is insightful because he's an Harper investigator. He is vigilant, meaning he gets advantage on initiative tests, and he's a shield bearer, as you can see. So whenever I take the evade action, I test 2d6 instead of 1d6 to avoid damage. I have mastered the longsword. My family's trade is a woodcutter, and my belief is the world is worth fighting for. And currently, I am at 6 hit points. Yeah. So the other characters, I statted them up as well. So we have Marissa. She's the militia scout of the Winterhaven militia. She's proficient with ranged weapons and has mastered the longbow. She's also a human, and also she has 4 traits. She is also sneaky, just like I am. She's also a survivalist, just like I am. But she's also perceptive, so she gets advantage on anything involving her senses. And she's got the quick shot trait, means she can shoot and reload her weapon with 1 action. Usually you need an action to reload if you use a ranged weapon, so she can also attack with her both of her actions in combat because of her quick shot ability. So this is Yamil. He is the rather young but stout captain of the Winterhaven militia. So he's proficient with heavy melee weapons. He has mastered the 2-handed sword, as you can see. And his 4 traits are: he's got the cleave trait. So if he drops an enemy, he can make an immediate attack with disadvantage against another adjacent enemy. He is resolute, meaning he gains advantage on all save tests. He is strong, so he gets advantage on all tests involving brute force. And he's an opportunist, meaning whenever an enemy misses him with an attack, he can make a counterattack but with disadvantage. Which is great because he's wielding a heavy melee weapon, and by Tiny Dungeon 2nd edition or the newer editions of the Tiny D6 system, those deal 2 points of damage instead of 1, but you can only use 1 action to attack. And of course you need 2 hands, so you don't have a hand free for whatever else. And we also recruited Adele, a traveling mage, into our party. She's proficient with light melee weapons and has mastered the staff. So I'm counting this as a light melee weapon. Even though you need 2 hands to wield it, but I didn't find it cinematic if that staff would deal 2 points of damage. So it's a light melee weapon. She uses 2 hands to wield it, of course, but it's a light melee weapon, so treat it as a light melee weapon. And her traits are: she is spell touched, meaning she can invoke minor magic. It's sort of like a free-form magic system. Minor effects, minor magical effects with the standard 2d6 test, and she can make magical ranged bolt attacks also with a 2d6 test. But she's also a spell reader, meaning she can invoke powerful spells by reading them from a scroll. She's an alchemist, also fits the theme, so she can also brew potions and poisons. And she's a healer, so this is also a magic. I'm treating this as magical healing. So with a standard test, she can heal an adjacent ally, not herself, for 2 hit points. However, I limit this to 3 uses per day or rest, because otherwise it would be overpowered, because there's like no limit to the amount of casting you can do in Tiny D6. And so basically what she could do, I could just roll tests. I mean, it's also quick after every combat to heal myself up to full health, and so I didn't want to do that, so I put 3 check boxes here on the character sheet, so she can at least heal us 3 times per day. And since I already only stated her up just yet, she has all her uses still for this day. Yes, so we are not at full health. So Nathan, he's got 6 hit points, so he's at full health. Adele has 4 hit points, and Marissa and Yamil, they each have 5 hit points, and 6 is the maximum for all of us. And so now we have just opened this door right here and entered this tomb of Sir Keegan. If you are wondering where I got this nice dungeon tile, these came in the very old 3rd edition D&D starter game that came with like 12 pre-painted miniatures and these cardboard tiles. So I got a couple of those. These are pretty neat, and they're double-sided. So these passages are not there. This is why I got these coffee stir sticks here. So there's a wall. So it's just a chamber, and Adele, she let's just say she has cast a little magic light as a minor magic effect to illuminate this chamber, this crypt, because there are no torches, and otherwise it would be dark. So there's an eerie glow in this chamber. The air is moist. There are some sarcophagi as depicted here, and one of them, the lid is open and broken on the floor, and yeah, the air is moist and smells rotten. All right, so yeah, what I will do is, and this is what I figured, I will use, of course, this adventure as a guideline and the story, but I will inject some more generative stuff, because I think this is also what is fun for me, is to basically inject stuff into the game. So I will use this as a rough guideline, but I will still determine some things randomly. So the first thing is, as we enter this tomb, I want to know if there are any traps maybe hidden. And since this is tiny d6, I will just roll a d6, and on a 1 or a 2, there's a hidden trap someplace. Of course there is. So let's just assume that this area here, that this line of floor tiles, these are trigger plates, and there are some heavy crossbows built into these statues, and they are pointed in a way that they shoot at whoever is standing on these. Okay, so only these are the trigger plates, and they're pointed like this. So if you step on this trigger plate, a heavy crossbow bolt will shoot at you out of a tiny hole that is hidden by stone carvings. So we will see if we can detect that. So we enter, and now I also want to see if there may be undead present, but they will be present only on a 1 on a d6. So according to the book, there are no undead except for Sir Keegan, but we haven't encountered him yet. So on a 1, there are some undead. Okay, so I rolled a 1. So there will be 1d3 undead shambling about. 1d3. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 2. Okay, so in this eerie glow, we see some movement, and attracted by us entering this chamber, two shambling silhouettes slowly move out of the shadows. So they've been hiding here in the shadows. Two skeletons. One. And two skeletons shamble about. From different corners of the room. Okay, so they slowly come into view, and as we see them, we will roll for initiative. So they don't talk, we just see these tiny needle point like red glowing dots in their otherwise empty eye sockets. They have a rusty blade and a half rotten wooden shield, and they are dressed in armor scraps, and they shamble about, and everybody who has acted in combat will be then turned like this. Okay, so initiative. So in Tiny D6, only the players, they roll and make a test, and if they succeed, they go before the enemies, and if they fail, they go after the enemies. And rules as written, initiative is not re-rolled every round. It stays as it is. All right, so I gave everyone a color. So Nathan Wayne, he's got the yellow die, and he's got vigilant, so he gets advantage on the initiative test. And you're looking for 5s or 6s. Yes, 2 successes. So he will go before Nathan. So I'm putting the enemies here. Enemies, and Nathan goes before. Now, Yamil, he's got the black dice. He only has 2d6 because he does not have the... Oh wait, does he? Yamil, no. Cleave, resolute, strong, and opportunist. But he also gets a success, a 6. So Yamil also goes before. Adele, she's got the purple dice. Traveling mage. She failed, so she goes after. And now Marissa, she is not vigilant. She's perceptive, but not vigilant. She's got the green die as an outdoors scout. Green dice, so let's see. She also fails. So we have Yamil and Nathan, then we have the enemies, and then we have Adele and Marissa. That will be the order of battle. Okay, so in Tiny D6, everybody gets 2 actions. You can move twice, you can attack twice, unless you have a heavy weapon, like Yamil does. You can focus, but only for ranged attacks, so it's easier to hit, and you can evade. Okay, so Yamil, and I'm ruling that everyone can move 30 feet, the usual 6 squares. And yeah, I'm not sure how to treat diagonals. I think they will count 2. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Yamil, he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, these are the trigger plates. He doesn't know this yet, but he takes the shortest route. So, yeah, we see these undead, and Nathan goes, "We got company. Yamil, see if we can engage them to protect Marissa and Adele so that they can attack from range." And he goes, "Sure thing," and moves upwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is his first action. And his second action is he will attack with his heavy weapon. And those skeletons, I'll give them 3 hit points. 3 HP. So he attacks, and he has mastered his two-handed sword, so he attacks with advantage. And he succeeds. He's got 1 6. You're looking for 5s and 6s. Deals 2 damage, but this skeleton has 3 hit points. So that was him. Nathan Wayne, that is me. I want to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want to go this route, but this is the trigger plate. So what I will do is I will move 1, 2, 3, 4 first. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I get a test with disadvantage, however, because I'm not paying attention. I'm focused on this guy. So on a 5 or 6, I spot the trigger plate. No, I don't. So 4, 5, and as I step onto this trigger plate, so as I step onto the plate, I feel a light shift underneath my feet, followed by clank, and I go, no, and damn, and I try to get my shield up. So these are the enemy dice, and because it's a trap, they roll 3d6. If I roll all successes, it's a critical hit, 2 damage. No, but 1 success, 2, 3, 5. So I take 1 point of damage. So I'm currently at 6. So now I'm at 5. I got my little status monitor here in my little notebook. But then I continue, and then with my second action, I attack with my mastered longsword. So I got nicked by this crossbow bolt, and I go like, careful, this floor seems trapped. Don't step onto this way here. And I attack. Yes, 1 success. That is enough to deal 1 point of damage. So this skeleton takes 1 point of damage. Okay, so now the 2 of us that acted before the enemies, we have acted. Now it's the skeleton's turn. So they are pretty unintelligent. Ooh, and attack with their rusty blades. So this skeleton attacks, first action attack versus Yamil. And now if it misses, Yamil can counterattack with disadvantage. But it doesn't miss. 1 success, Yamil takes 1 point of damage, taking him down to 4 points. And second action, skeleton attacking again. And again it hits with a 5. So Yamil, damn, he's down to 3 hit points. Alright, so that was this skeleton. Now the skeleton attacking me. it activates and also uses his first action to attack with his rusty scimitar. It's a hit. So Nathan down to 4 hit points. Damn. And again. Lucky. Miss. 3 and 4. I need a 5 or 6. I can counterattack. So those were the enemies. And now I got my 2 companions, Adele and Marissa. Alright, so actually now this is again metagaming, because I as a player know that this guy will be dead if he is hit once and this guy won't. So now she will attack with her ranged magic bolt attack, and I'm treating this like basically like a magic missile. So if you succeed you have to succeed at your test, but you don't get disadvantage for cover or an ally engaged in melee or anything. But she has basically, I will roll 1, 2, 3. She attacks this one, and 4, 5, 6 this one, because I don't want to get this metagaming. Because she doesn't have any indication of who's wounded more. So 1, 2, 3, it'll be this skeleton. Yes, this is actually what I wanted. So she, with her first action, she also gets 2 actions. She conjures up an arcane bolt and unleashes it from her fingertips towards this skeleton. Standard 2d6 test, and halfway across the room or chamber the spell fizzles as the bolt loses its cohesion and does not reach the skeleton, and she goes, damn. But she, second action, tries to attack the same skeleton again. Yes, 4 on 5, that is a success. That is the one success she needed to cause 1 point of damage. So past Jamil's shoulder streaks a blue bolt of arcane energy and hits the skeleton into the skull, and the skull bursts into a pile of bone shards, and the entire body crumbles. All right. So that was Adele. So she acted, she didn't move. Now we still have Marissa. So, and now I don't know how the rules are as written, but I see there's like some cover here. We're engaged in melee. So long story short, she can see the skeleton, but she has to attack with disadvantage because and she will also attack from here because of this melee thing going on. And she will attack twice, so I'm just rolling 2 dice, but everyone is a single attack because she's got disadvantage. Only a 5 or 6 hits. So she uses her 2 attacks, knocking off 2 arrows. Oh, look at this, 6, 6. That's great, because that means 2 hits, even with disadvantage. So she and those 2 arrows pierce the skull, splinter it, and as the skull is splintered, the skeleton also crumbles into a pile of bones. So we all acted, but we are out of combat now. Okay, so I go, Nathan goes, thanks for the assist, Marissa. You are indeed an expert shot. I'll do my best. Didn't want to hurt your pretty face. Be careful. So let's let's investigate this room. Let's see if there's anything here worth our attention. Doesn't seem like that there's a way out. So she approaches and carefully looks around and makes, because she's perceptive, makes a test with advantage to see if she spots the other trap. And she doesn't. So she goes, well, looks like you just got unlucky. The other tiles, they seem fine. Oh, well, still, better be careful. Watch your step. And she goes, intriguing. I wonder what, there's something inscribed on the sarcophagi. It seems to be an important tomb of some important person. Maybe we can learn something. And she walks, and because she thinks now it is safe and she has actually no reason to deviate from her course, she steps onto this trigger plate and clack again with advantage. The trap is triggered. The heavy crossbow bolt releases. Yes, one success. So also again, Adele, she's down to 3 hit points now. She's hit in the shoulder. I thought you said this is safe. Damn, I'm sorry. Let me see. So she wants to assist her. Let me get this bolt out of your shoulder. Damn it. Put pressure on the wound. Okay. Okay, so now she, because we don't have a 10-foot pole, she takes her longbow and tests the plates before we step towards this sarcophagi. Now it does seem safe. So we step up, and let me describe. The raised dais in this old crypt holds a single coffin. Well, not true. We have other coffins here. Carved on the lid of the coffin is a warrior in plate armor with a sword laid across his chest, the point towards his feet. Indeed. Seems to be the tomb of somebody important. Adele goes, maybe they buried him with some valuables or knowledge, maybe a tomb or scroll. So we should actually see if we can get this lid open. Yeah. Okay, so they also come closer because they're nosy and they want to see. So let's see if we can get this open. All right, when the adventurers attempt to open the coffin or start to leave without opening the coffin, read. So we attempt to open the coffin. The heavy coffin lid explodes in a flurry of dust. A humanoid skeleton girded in plate armor rises from the cloud. It holds aloft a long sword. The rift must never be reopened, it croaks. State your business or prepare to die. So suddenly there's a pile of, an explosion of stone dust. And as the dust clears, we look into the skeletal eyes of this plate-wearing skeleton. Let me see if I can find a fitting pawn. A fitting pawn here, yeah. the skeletal champion. So this is Sir Keegan. He wears plate armor but covered with a rope, has a long sword. State your business or prepare to die. Okay, so we instinctively move backwards a little, and Adele, because she is like the mage and more of the academic type, she raises her hands and goes, "We mean you no harm. We mean you no harm. We are here for a good reason. We have a noble purpose." State your business. Well, actually, we are investigating the unholy doings of what we suspect is a death cult. All right, and now I have to make a test to see if I'm convincing. So let's see, does she have any spell? No, she just makes a normal test. So this is like a skill challenge. I have to talk to him, and if I get 3 failures, he will attack. Otherwise, if I get 4 successes, he is convinced that we do good, and it's a success. So let's make my little skill challenge track here. 1, 2, 3, 4 dots, and 3 for the failures. We already got 1 success. So he goes, He seems to be curious now and goes, "Well, if you're really here to fight a death cult, that is a noble purpose. The rift can't be opened again." Now, Nathan, I step in and I go, What rift are you speaking about?" The rift grants access to the Shadowfell plane. Corruption lies on the other side of that rift, and evil just waits for an opportunity to soak into our lands. Maybe this is what this cult is up to. Have you ever heard of the name Kelleril? No. Who is that? Well, we suppose Kelleril is the leader of this cult, death priest of the evil god Orcus. Orcus! Be careful with that name. Okay, I gotta make a test. I'm thinking because I'm insightful, I will grant myself advantage. Because I'm good with people, reading people, and I got a success. So another success. 2 out of 4 successes. All right. I will not say that name. But we have to stop Kelleril. Is there anything maybe you can tell us about this place? Can you help us? Or why are you exactly here? Well, I fear I can't help you, because I cannot leave this crypt. But maybe I can provide you with valuable information. I will describe to you the way to the chamber that holds the seal to the rift. Make sure that it has not been tampered with. Okay. So let's see what else. Because actually from this discussion so far with my 2 successes, it already went pretty well. So let's say he addresses Yamil now. You, I haven't spoken to you yet. I'm not sure of your intentions. Who are you? State your business. And Yamil goes, my name is Yamil. I am captain of the militia of the village of Winterhaven, and I'm here to aid this noble adventurers in their quest, or to aid these noble adventurers in their quest. He also makes a test, and he also succeeds. So I got 3 successes now. And then he talks to Marissa. And you? Well, I'm also from the Winterhaven village. I'm also part of the militia. I'm the militia's scout and outdoors woman. Okay, she makes her test. She fails, first failure. He goes, I don't know. There's something about you that I don't like. I can't really put my finger on it, but... Then to the others, are you sure this is not a spy serving evil powers? Yes, we are sure. This woman has saved my life a couple of times. Is that true? Yes, it is true. Again, she has to make a test. And she succeeds. All right, so we got 4 successes and 1 failure. So we got these 4 successes before we got our failures. And he goes, so maybe you do speak the truth. All right, listen carefully. I will describe to you the way to the chamber that holds the seal. And I'll give you some clues about dangers that might lurk there on your way. So he describes the way to the staircase that leads down 1 level, and then points us or describes the way to the chamber. Then he goes, well, I can't leave this crypt. I cannot help you. But Acris can. And he offers his longsword. This is Acris, my trusted companion. It has special powers. It will aid you in your quest and serve you well. Who is worthy to wield it? And they all look at Nathan, because Nathan already has or already wields a longsword. I think it'll be best in your hands. So I put my longsword in the sheath and walk up and take the sword. Well, I'm honored. Thanks that you think I'm worthy. So what exactly does this sword do? Well, it is especially effective against the undead. And if you manage to slay an undead, it will infuse you with vigor and heal some of your wounds. All right, so this is Acris. This is a +1 magic longsword, It is inlaid with platinum, and it has a line of 3 white diamonds set into the flat of its blade, and a pommel carved to resemble the head of a noble dragon. Alright, so by tiny d6 rules, it always grants advantage on attack rolls. So you always have advantage. This overrides disadvantage because it's magic. And if I drop an enemy, an undead enemy, I heal 1 hit point. So in 4th edition it says when you drop an undead enemy to 0 hit points, gain 1 healing surge. So there are no healing surges here. So if I drop an undead enemy, I will regain 1 hit point. And I have advantage on attacks because it is Acris, a magic longsword. Well, thank you for this sword. Indeed, we have encountered many undead so far. So if this sword does what you say it does, of course it does. Do you think I lie? No, sorry, that came out wrong. Well, thank you. I bow slightly. It'll serve us well in our quest. So we will be on our way then. Yes. May the gods be with you and guide you on your quest. All right, group, assume formation. We know where to go. So we reassume our delving formation and head out to follow Sir Keegan's description. All right, folks, this is where I will end the session. And yeah, it was actually fun. I'm glad that I continued this. I really do like the Tiny D6 system as well. Yeah, so I'm determined to bring this adventure hopefully to a good end. It'll either be that or a TPK, so that I can then put up a complete playlist. Yeah, so thank you for watching. I hope you have a wonderful remaining weekend. And if you haven't done so, check out my community tab, because there I shared my document converting Forge to space opera games. So it's not really a conversion. Basically, it's just the rules of Forge with some slight adjustments. Basically, yeah, adding force powers and space combat rules to the Forge system. Yeah, so check that out. And as always, stay safe and stay healthy, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye bye.